The village of Dalton is more than $3.5 million in the hole. Mayor Tiffany Henyard is accused of misusing money, and today she's nowhere to be found.
Very, very diligently, very hard under difficult circumstances to get as much information as we could to share with you.
She thinks she's going to jail. I'm also a former Cook County Sheriff for the Department of Corrections, and I suggest that she go and take a tour of that facility so she can...
Corruption in positions of authority is nothing new, but Mayor Tiffany Henyard has seemingly taken it to unprecedented levels. Now that both the media and law enforcement are actively investigating her, she is finally beginning to face the consequences of her long history of evading accountability for years. Henyard employed every tactic possible to stay ahead, but now the walls are closing in, and nothing seems to be working in her favor. Henyard's rise to power began when the Board of Trustees appointed her to serve the remainder of the late Mayor Frank Ciccarelli's term. According to state election law, the Thornton Township Board had 60 days to select a successor, and multiple candidates were in the running. Among them were Joyce Washington, a long-tenured trustee, an interim supervisor, and Jerry Jones, a trustee, and the township assessor, both considered frontrunners for the position. However, as often happens in politics, things did not go according to plan. Despite Washington and Jones being the leading contenders, the Board of Trustees was unable to reach a consensus. As the deadline loomed, Henyard, who had previously applied for the position but was not among the initial nominees, suddenly emerged as a last-minute option. Trustee Christopher Gonzalez made the motion to nominate her, and the vote passed, leading to Henyard swearing in just before midnight. Notably, Henyard's exclusion from the initial round of nominations should have raised concerns among trustees, yet the process moved forward, setting the stage for the unfolding controversy.
Have confidential, sensitive papers that were in a common area.
This morning, some of those documents were gone.
Christopher Gonzalez initially focused on other candidates, but as time ran out, he made a hasty decision, hoping that nominating Henyard would unite the board and prevent the decision from falling into the hands of the public. With the midnight deadline fast approaching, Gonzalez took a risk, and his last-minute nomination ultimately secured Henyard's position as mayor. When Henyard assumed office, her first public appearance seemed promising. She addressed the Board of Trustees, expressing gratitude for the appointment and pledging to serve the people of Thornton Township with dedication and responsibility. I pledge to the residents of Thornton Township, the elected officials, the Board of Trustees, and the entire staff that we will work hard and have an honest and responsible fiscal year. She declared in her speech, "I am a public servant and I will always put the people first." For a brief period, everything appeared to be running smoothly. Henyard's leadership seemed competent, and her rhetoric emphasized transparency and public service. However, the situation quickly took a turn when rumors emerged that she harbored personal grudges against individuals close to the late Mayor Ciccarelli, particularly those who had played significant roles in his administration. Allegations suggested that Henyard felt threatened by those with long-standing ties to the office and was unwilling to accept guidance from these experienced figures. Signs of insecurity soon became evident in her actions. One of her first major moves as mayor was the abrupt dismissal of key employees, including Jessica Jones. In a sudden and unexpected decision, the move was made without explanation, leaving many stunned. The vote to remove Jones was swift and unanimous, with even those who had initially supported Henyard backing the decision. That same day, Henyard made another bold and controversial move by firing Stephanie Weidman. Once again, no clear reason was given, and the Board of Trustees remained largely in the dark. This time, however, the vote was much more divisive. Trustee Jerry Jones made the motion to terminate Weidman, seconded by Joyce Washington. The final vote resulted in a 4-1 split, with Christopher Gonzalez as the sole dissenting voice. The unexpected terminations raised serious questions. Why were two longtime employees removed without warning? Even the employees themselves were left in the dark. One of them, shocked by the decision, sent a text message to Jerry Jones expressing disbelief, *, "I'm so sorry they let you go. It came out of left field." *, the message read, "It hurts. I haven't even been told why."
Bald-faced example of Supervisor Henyard's promise of come to the good things. There's so much good going on that we want to tell you about. When we show up to report on it, we were denied access.
So that's what happened to our reporter, and then at the next meeting that you attended,
I've reached out and am awaiting a meeting to understand what went wrong. Despite the confusion and surprise, Neither the Board of Trustees nor anyone else seemed to demand an explanation from Henyard. This situation exposed the first cracks in her leadership, revealing actions driven more by personal insecurities than a genuine commitment to the people of Thornton Township. Henyard was not appointed based on her qualifications or experience, but rather through the political maneuvering of the Board of Trustees, who sought to avoid a public vote. It quickly became clear that her leadership style was more authoritarian than collaborative. In many ways, the fallout from these terminations was just the beginning of deeper issues plaguing her administration. The Board of Trustees, hoping to fill the leadership void quickly, instead found themselves dealing with a mayor who was unpredictable and at times openly hostile toward those who had previously held power. Public confidence in her leadership rapidly declined, with many residents questioning whether she truly had the township's best interests at heart. Despite her public pledges to serve the community and maintain fiscal responsibility, her actions told a different story. By alienating key figures and removing experienced staff without clear justification, Henyard was setting herself up for further controversy. Her swift rise to power now appeared unsustainable as the consequences of her decisions began to unfold as investigations into her conduct continue. The question remains, how much longer can she hold onto her position? The political fallout from her actions is likely to shape the future of Thornton Township for years to come. Tiffany Henyard's recent actions have sparked a wave of controversy and intense scrutiny, with her attempts at defense only raising more questions. In a statement, she claimed that recent office space rearrangements were necessary due to heat issues affecting her ability to work efficiently. She dismissed objections from Assessor Ilston as an overreaction to trivial matters, arguing that the relocation of the assessor's office was part of a broader initiative to prioritize citizen services. However, skeptics quickly pointed out the glaring absence of any official announcement or paper trail to support this claim, leaving the community to wonder if this was merely a convenient excuse. Even some of Henyard's supporters have begun to waver as members of the township have stepped forward to criticize her decisions. One supporter who initially spoke in Henyard's defense admitted that she had never consulted them about major decisions. This vague defense quickly shifted attention away from the controversy at hand. Another ally attempted to redirect the focus, urging local media to highlight positive achievements such as Thornton Township receiving the Government Finance Officers Association's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in financial reporting instead of critical investigations. However, this attempt to pivot from scrutiny to praise felt hollow to many residents. The claims of success could not mask the growing discontent surrounding Henyard's leadership. As public dissatisfaction grew, Tiffany Henyard's responses to criticism took on an increasingly unusual tone, often laced with spiritual overtones and defensive posturing. Rumors about her perceived incompetence spread widely, further exacerbating the tense atmosphere surrounding her administration. Rather than addressing the criticisms directly, her ally Keith Freeman adopted an unorthodox strategy, publicly shaming the media for failing to portray Henyard in a positive light. Freeman accused local media of obsessing over negative stories about the township, while ignoring its supposed successes. His tone often verged on condescension as he insisted that Thornton Township residents would be better served by hearing about its accomplishments, rather than what he dismissed as petty gossip. He derided critical reporting as kid stuff and challenged skeptics to verify the township's financial records, arguing they would prove the administration's competence. Freeman's remarks reflected a growing defensiveness within Henyard's team. They increasingly framed her struggles as part of a divine plan, casting her as a righteous figure enduring hardship with resilience. Freeman even declared, God doesn't make mistakes, he put the right person here, someone who would do the work, take the lashes, and have the strength to endure it all. This rhetoric sought to position Henyard as a leader standing firm against unjust attacks, but many residents saw it as an attempt to deflect from the growing concerns about her leadership. As public pressure mounted, Henyard adopted a new strategy to manage her image, hosting private meetings and restricting media access. When reporters were eventually allowed into some of these sessions, they quickly noticed a troubling pattern. Henyard would abruptly end the meetings as soon as the media arrived, giving the impression that she was deliberately avoiding accountability instead of easing concerns. This move only fueled further speculation about her leadership style and whether she was actively hiding from public scrutiny. Meanwhile, tensions within the township office remained high. Freeman, doubling down on his claims, insisted that no wrongdoing had occurred and blamed the media for focusing on mess. and gossip rather than substantive matters. He even implied that critics of Tiffany Henyard's leadership were either misinformed or deliberately attacking the administration without basis to quell concerns. Freeman offered photo documentation upon request to verify that no files or sensitive materials had been mishandled during the office reshuffle. However, these assurances did little to address the core complaints of residents and critics, many of whom felt that Henyard's administration was more focused on optics than actual governance. Perhaps the most dramatic shift in Henyard's response to public disapproval came when she pivoted to spirituality. Positioning herself as a virtuous figure engaged in a battle against unseen adversaries, she began framing her struggles as a fight against forces working to tarnish her reputation, suggesting that she was a beacon of good facing relentless opposition. Her messaging became increasingly spiritual, with subtle but persistent implications from her team that the criticism against her was not just political but personal, part of a larger scheme to dismantle the positive work she claimed to be doing for the community. Residents and reporters alike noticed that Henyard's rhetoric was becoming increasingly laced with religious language. She portrayed herself as someone enduring hardship with grace, patience, and divine purpose, framing her leadership as a test of character. While this strategy may have resonated with some loyal supporters, others saw it as a transparent attempt to deflect from the real governance issues plaguing her administration rather than addressing concerns head-on. The shift in tone seemed more about shaping public perception, painting Henyard as a martyr rather than a leader, accountable for her decisions. Despite these efforts, Henyard's reputation continued to decline. Her administration became increasingly characterized by secrecy, deflection, and chaotic decision-making. Critics accused her of failing to provide coherent answers to valid concerns regarding mismanagement and corruption. One of the most glaring examples was her decision to relocate office spaces, which she claimed was part of a broader initiative to improve citizen services. However, the lack of transparency and procedural oversight surrounding the move only deepened suspicions that the decision was driven more by optics and internal power struggles than efficiency. As her leadership faltered, public trust in Henyard's administration eroded. Limited engagement with the community, coupled with her abrupt dismissal of valid concerns, only fueled rumors about her unsuitability for office. The absence of accountability and clear communication painted a picture of a leader struggling to maintain her grip on power. Despite her attempts to reframe the narrative through spiritual justifications, private meetings, and hollow defenses, her credibility continued to fade. Henyard's administration appeared more focused on controlling its image than addressing the legitimate issues at hand. The people of Thornton Township were left to navigate mounting challenges without clear direction from their leader. Her reliance on spiritual rhetoric, defensive posturing, and secretive tactics only deepened the rift between her administration and the residents she was supposed to serve. In the end, Henyard's attempt to recast her leadership struggles as a spiritual test only reinforced her critics' claims that her administration had failed. Instead of facing challenges with transparency and decisive action, she chose to deflect blame, restrict public access, and maintain control over the narrative. As her influence continued to wane, the people of Thornton Township were left to contend with a leader who seemed more interested in protecting her image than addressing the pressing issues facing their community. Tiffany Henyard's tenure as mayor of Dalton and supervisor of Thornton Township has rapidly become mired in a series of legal and political scandals, each more damaging than the last. From her controversial leadership style to accusations of financial misconduct, her administration has been plagued by legal battles, growing public dissatisfaction, and mounting allegations that paint her as an ineffective and self-serving leader. The controversy surrounding Henyard reached new heights as insiders and residents alike began to speak out against her questionable actions and decisions. Tensions within her leadership became evident early on, particularly in her strained relationship with the Dalton trustees. Gonzalez, who had initially nominated Henyard, was one of the first to publicly express disappointment. He recalled that from the moment she took office, she acted as though she was the sole authority in the room, frequently exclaiming, "What are they going to think now? What are they going to say now?" During interactions with the trustees. As time went on, the rift between Henyard and her colleagues only deepened, with many growing increasingly disillusioned with her leadership style. Henyard's first year as mayor was marked by multiple controversies, many of which escalated over time. Among the most troubling issues were the hiring of an inspector who had not been properly vetted, the alleged misuse of taxpayer funds without necessary board approvals, and the use of Dalton police officers for personal security. These concerns led some officials to warn that Henyard was putting the township at risk by failing to follow proper procedures as these scandals unfolded. The Dalton community was forced to confront the reality of an administration that appeared increasingly unstable and unaccountable with each new controversy. Trust in Henyard's leadership continued to erode, leaving residents and officials questioning the future of Dalton and Thornton Township under her tenure. The residents of Dalton and Thornton Township were paying the price for what many saw as a failure of leadership. The mounting tensions reached a boiling point during the annual township meeting, when a 23-year-old South Holland resident took the floor, making a bold call for civic engagement. She urged township leaders to act in good faith by making information more accessible to the public. You claim that you want us to participate in civic affairs and attend these meetings. But based on my first meeting in Thornton Township, it appears that some actions are being taken against the interests of the residents, she stated, directly challenging Tiffany Henyard and her administration. Another resident, G.S. Watts, voiced his concerns regarding Henyard's handling of the voters' decision to reject a mental health referendum that would have raised taxes in Thornton Township. He addressed her directly, saying, "This is not an attack on you as a black woman. I have always been held accountable for my performance and results, and I expect the same from you. We are not brainwashed, we're tired." This confrontation marked the beginning of a wave of public grievances that Henyard would struggle to manage. Former supporter Trina Diaz also came forward with a long list of complaints. She spoke out against what she perceived as mismanagement, citing issues such as being barred from attending a Dalton board meeting and allegations of misconduct during official trips. Diaz also pointed to Dalton trustee Andrew Holmes, accusing him of being complicit in some of the administration's questionable actions. Nate Fields, a photographer from South Holland who had worked with Thornton Township, also shared his own troubling experience. He recounted a conversation with Henyard after the death of Frank Ciccarelli, during which she had promised him continued support. However, Fields claimed that Henyard later fired him without explanation. "Why did you fire me? All I wanted to do was work for my community," he asked. His story became part of a growing list of accusations against Henyard. A township staffer even alleged that she had been using intimidation tactics to silence workers. According to the staffer, Henyard had reportedly enlisted others to pressure employees into keeping quiet, fostering an atmosphere of fear and unease within the township office. Reports of harassment and workplace intimidation further underscored the mounting distress among employees, painting a troubling picture of Henyard's leadership. As the criticism continued to mount, it became increasingly clear that the turmoil surrounding Henyard's administration was far from over. As legal troubles mounted, Tiffany Henyard's administration found itself entangled in an increasing number of lawsuits, with accusations ranging from wrongful termination to favoritism and unfair practices. Beyond the civil suits, Henyard also faced legal battles with local businesses and former employees who claimed mistreatment under her leadership. One of the most notable legal challenges came from a lawsuit filed by a Dalton police officer who had served on Henyard's security detail. The officer named both Henyard and Dalton Village trustee Andrew Holmes as defendants, adding to the growing list of allegations against her administration. Further legal trouble rose from a lawsuit filed by Dwayne Thrash, a former maintenance manager in Dalton. Thrash alleged that in 2023, a close ally of Henyard approached him with a scheme to replace the school board's attorney with a law firm handpicked by Henyard's inner circle. When Thrash refused to participate in what he saw as a corrupt plan, he claimed he was abruptly fired while on an approved vacation. His lawsuit accused Henyard of violating his constitutional rights and sought compensation for wrongful termination. These allegations were only the tip of the iceberg. Federal investigators soon turned their attention to Henyard amid reports of government funds being used for lavish personal expenses, including extravagant meals and luxury hotel stays. Among the most troubling revelations was the claim that Henyard had spent nearly $900 in taxpayer dollars on travel over 2 years, with expenses including first-class airfare and stays at high-end hotels such as the Four Seasons Inn, Atlanta and the Marriott Marquis in New York City Questions also rose about an alleged trip to Las Vegas, where she reportedly racked up additional unauthorized expenses. Federal scrutiny intensified when former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot a former federal prosecutor, was hired to assist in investigating Henyard's alleged misuse of public funds. Lightfoot was expected to examine Henyard's Vegas trip and other questionable expenditures as the investigation progressed. Troubling financial practices involving Henyard's inner circle, including her boyfriend and key political allies, were uncovered. Subpoenas were issued demanding records related to payroll expenses, employment reimbursements, and credit card transactions. Among those named in the subpoenas were Henyard's ** deputy police chief, ** and several close associates within the Township, even ** Keith Freeman ** Henyard's top aide, faced legal challenges. Freeman was charged with ** bankruptcy fraud ** for allegedly failing to disclose earnings from Dalton. His financial dealings in the ** village of Robbins ** also came under scrutiny, with audits revealing that he had received payments exceeding budgeted amounts. As the pressure mounted, Henyard responded with defiance, dismissing the allegations as politically and racially motivated. She publicly accused her critics, including several Black Dalton trustees, of betraying their community by opposing her. You should all feel ashamed of yourselves because you are Black, and you're sitting up there beating and attacking a Black woman in a position of authority. She declared, attempting to frame the backlash as unjustified and divisive. However, the mounting evidence against Henyard was difficult to ignore. Investigations revealed that she had personally accumulated more than $112 in taxpayer-funded travel expenses within the past year alone. WGN News reported that credit card records showed a ** pattern of excessive spending **, further fueling public outrage. Many community members questioned how Henyard could justify such extravagant expenses, while the township struggled with pressing financial and operational challenges. As controversy continued to swirl and federal investigations deepened, Henyard's grip on power appeared increasingly unstable with each new revelation. The public's trust in her administration eroded further, leaving the future of Thornton Township and the village of Dalton hanging in uncertainty. Investigators continued to scrutinize Tiffany Henyard's conduct, with speculation mounting that even more damning revelations could emerge. The legal troubles faced by her closest allies, including ** Keith Freeman ** only reinforced the perception that her entire administration was engulfed in corruptions. For Henyard, the weight of these allegations and ongoing legal battles posed a direct threat to her political future. Despite her repeated denials and attempts to frame the accusations as racially motivated attacks, the mounting evidence made it increasingly difficult for her to maintain credibility. Many residents of ** Dalton and Thornton Township ** believed the time had come for her to be held accountable. The combination of legal drama, financial misconduct, and political missteps painted a bleak picture of Henyard's leadership, leaving the community questioning whether her days in office were numbered. In the end, ** Tiffany Henyard's tenure as mayor and township supervisor may be remembered more for scandal than for service **. As federal investigations and legal battles continue to unfold, the question remains, will she be held accountable? Or will her efforts to deflect blame and control the narrative allow her to survive the storm, regardless of the outcome? One thing is certain: her leadership has left a lasting impact on Dalton and Thornton Township, with consequences that will be felt for years to come.